Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So we have some XRP news today. We have some Bitcoin news, Ethereum news. All right, so let's begin right here. This article is titled, Research Shows Institutions Using XRP in All 7 Continents. Keep in mind, this is a beginning. It's not like they're using massive amounts of XRP just yet. This is in the nascent phase still. But it shows what we've been talking about for quite some time, which is global reach. I've said that a million times. We have true global reach. And that's one of the reasons why I believe that there's going to be a lot of value flowing through this system, because there's no one else that has that type of global reach. SWIFT is limited. The BRICS system is going to be severely limited. No doubt in my mind, there's going to be a lot of friction back and forth between them over the years to come. Especially as you look at the geopolitical tensions between the West and the East it's just continuously accelerating. But let's read this little tidbit here from the article. I hope you're all having a fantastic day so far. All right. So it says Ripple has formed several partnerships globally that have seen either the XRPL or XRP utilized in every continent. Now, just imagine what they're not saying, what they're not unveiling. This is according to recent extensive research from Take Nicer, an enterprise blockchain researcher. Despite Ripple's legal battle with the US SEC, the company has expanded its partnerships and services worldwide with significant traction outside the US. And Ripple has definitely let us know that most of their clients are outside the US. Although I'll say now, with the clarity that we have, I want to see how many announcements we get about, a business within the U.S. That's definitely money on the table I would love to take. I'm here for that bank money. So they have a nice chart here on this article here. It's on cryptobasic.com. But they have SBI up here. Then they have MAS, Helloc. They have On Afrique. We remember them. Colombian CBDC. Finisbach. They have a lot of things here. This is a nice little chart here, all tied to XRP. It goes on and on, but I'm not going to read everything there. Ripple forged multiple partnerships during the SEC lawsuit, while American companies remain hesitant and slow. Are you sure about that? Just because it's not announced does not mean it's not occurring. NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, and behind the doors activities, who can know about that unless there is a leak? And that's going to be very rare, because those people keep their companies and their circles really, really tight. Right? And there's only a few of them that will be in the know in those companies. So, just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not there. But I will say this. If we're going to speculate, I would go by all of the verbiage coming out of various companies. Bank of America praises XRP and Ripple. You have a lot of different American financial institutions that are very much pro Ripple, pro XRP, pro XRPL. So if we go by that logic, and some of them have even run tests on them, right? So if we go by that logic, there should be a good amount that are there that will in the future utilize the XRPL and XRP technology. That's what I would think. So anyway, so now it says Ripple in South America and Europe. South America has seen notable developments with Ripple, particularly through the release of its central bank digital currency platform. For instance, the Bank of Colombia has tested its CBDC on Ripple's platform. Additionally, Ripple's partnership with the National Federation of Associations of Central Banks, Finisbach, we covered that recently as well. That was big news. In Brazil, aims to enhance the country's financial sector. So what does this mean? So now listen, this is how I look at it. When you look at all of these different places and you see the connections there, right? So you take those connections, then extrapolate those to all of their subsidiaries and partners, companies that they're connected to who could possibly, stand a chance to use the XRPL, because these big institutions have a lot of sway into what networks they want to be a part of and who and what their partners may use and what their subsidiaries may use as well. And then once I start coming up with that idea, I start asking myself, how much value are these institutions accessing, moving per year? So, I get a raw amount, and then I get the assets under management as well, and I say that because of this. Sometimes that raw amount may be much lesser than the assets under management. But we have to look at the assets under management now, because Everything's going to be tokenized. And if Ripple's going to come out at the beginning of this year, and they always do this, and I respect it. Once Ripple says something one time, they don't have to continuously say it. That doesn't mean they abandon the mission. That means they let their voice be heard, roar like a lion. Once you roar, you walk away. The people can take it or leave it. But anyway, they came out, they said, hey, listen, we're very much going after real world asset tokenization and moving real world asset value. And then you see that happening on the XRP already with the T-bills, right? T-bills, that should go crazy at some point. Easy access to T-bills. You know, we cover T-bills quite a few times on this channel. I love T-bills, just my humble opinion. I don't know how many of you do, but I love T-bills. But they've already begun that, right? So if they're going after RWA, then we must look at assets under management of all of these different financial institutions that Ripple has a connection with. That's a lot of value. I'm taking into account all of that stuff. It's going to be major. We're in the clear now. Ripple is going to be free to do a lot of different things. I mean, we'll monitor things and we'll adjust our thoughts accordingly. But as of now, that's how it looks. As of now, if it changes later, I'll adjust my mind later, right? So now let's go here. All right. So let's move on to another article. But yes, there you have it on what was it once more? 7 continents. That's huge. That's major, right? So now let's move on here. Let's see. We have more XRP news. We'll cover this very quickly here. This article is titled Cardano's. This is a hilarious title, in my humble opinion. Cardano's Charles Hoskinson invites Ripple CEO to, quote, secret cult meetings, unquote. Here's what's happening. That's hilarious. Number one, he knows how to mess with people, Charles Hoskinson. He's clearly joking, right? But he knows people are going to pick this up and run with it. Let me tell you something. If Charles Hoskinson was actually a content creator, or, you know, I don't know if he has a channel or not. My apologies. I don't know. I don't watch everything. I don't. But he would do well because he knows how to make an eye-catching title, 100%. And then he knows that people love a good conspiracy as well, right? So now it begins here. The founder of IOG, the company behind Cardano, Charles Hoskinson, has published a tweet. Why did they write it like that? The founder of IOG. Okay, my apologies. I read that wrong. That was on me. Has published a tweet responding to Raoul Pal's criticism of ADA and XRP. Yeah, but we already know how Raoul, I love a lot of things that Raoul says, but I don't agree with everything that the individual says, and people don't agree with everything that I may say. That's perfectly fine. Everyone has their own opinion. It doesn't have to move you. But yeah, he's going to say certain things about ADA and XRP. He has to stand his ground. He can't back down now. Some people are pride filled like that. You know, unfortunately, sometimes pride comes before the fall. All right. Remember how people talked about Bitcoin? Now, listen, I haven't been in crypto from the beginning, but I remember seeing it because in the beginning, I remember Bitcoin being on certain websites, and those video websites, I believe it was LBRY. I swear they used to have a section of it where you could look at Bitcoin's price. It was Bitcoin and Ethereum. I didn't know. This is long time ago, before, you know, my brother really brought me into crypto, and he was bashing me over the head. Mick, get into crypto. Mick, get into crypto. I was just in the stock market. That was it. At the time, stock market, commodities, but I was not in crypto. This is what I'm saying. But I remember seeing Bitcoin, et cetera, and it was so low, such a low price. And even I looked at it with a side eye, like, what the heck is this Bitcoin? But at that time, people were trashing Bitcoin. At that time, I remember hearing it. I didn't hear anything positive. I didn't hear anything positive about Bitcoin. And I believe on LBRY, they used to allow you to tip. Like, they call it a tip. The content creators on that website, like, if they had a good video, it was sort of like a very raw YouTube. And you could tip the people by leaving them the LBRY tokens or something like that. You could donate to them or whatever. But I remember people trashing Bitcoin. That's the point here. So they did this once to Bitcoin. Oh, it's not going to do this. It's not going to do that. And then look what happened to Bitcoin. And of course, yes, it's very different circumstances for XRP, but I say that is super bullish for XRP because of all the institutional use, the use cases, all the value that could flow through XRP, their unique positioning at the forefront of all of crypto. Come on now, what's more bullish than that? Right now, what's more bullish than XRP right now? And now I'm not, don't put the meme coins, take the meme coins. I'm not talking about the meme coins. I'm talking about regular crypto. That's what I'm talking about. All right. What's more bullish than XRP right now? All right. Besides, then come on now. Out of the utility coins, it says XRP and ADA, nothing but old cult. Powell claims. All right. Well, he has his opinion. But what did Charles Hoskinson say? The renowned investor and Real Vision founder stated that, okay, I see what they're still going into Powell's thoughts and stuff like that. I don't remember him ever being bullish on any utility coins. Unless is he one of the Solana people? He's one of us, right? On that front, is he one of us Solana people? I don't know. I think I saw him pro Solana. But I want to hear what Charles Hoskinson says here. Charles Hoskinson tagged the Ripple chief executive asking, quote, "So at B. Garlinghouse, when are we going to the secret cult meetings?" I'm going to tell you the truth. This guy's funny. He added that he was never able to understand that criticism coming from Raoul Pal. But you got to understand this also with Raoul Pal. He's a make money right now type of person. A make money right now type of person. He is not. It's hard to say he's not long term. But the audience that he typically speaks to wants to see things right now. So he caters to that audience. A lot of his verbiage caters to that audience, although his behavior would say otherwise, right? And he's got a lot of pride, a lot of pride. As far as once he takes a stance, that's it. There's no adjusting it after that. He's going to go down with the ship, Titanic. Think Titanic and the captain. And the band playing as the ship goes under the water and their flutes like that's him. That's the type of person he is. And hey, listen, it is what it is. To each his own. I can respect it. Doesn't change anything for me. All right. So I just thought that was a fun little article there, to change up the energies a little bit. So now let's get back to this news here. This article is titled "Ripple CTO Breaks Silence on IPO and cash out plans for early backers." All right. So what's going on here? There was an interesting discussion involving Ripple CTO David Schwartz in the crypto space on the topic of companies going public. Initially, the view was expressed that all tech companies that have gone public in recent years have performed dismally in their IPO offerings. The same view was echoed by another debater who stated that in the startup world, such decisions are seen as a cash exit for its participants. In particular, an example is given when a developer joins a project for a low salary, but on the condition of a share in a future company, which acquires value just by going public. Schwartz, who is no stranger to getting involved in all sorts of startups and nascent initiatives, as he is one of the original architects of the XRP Ledger, also decided to join the discussion. His words are particularly interesting in the context of Ripple preparing for its own IPO. After the court disagreements with the SEC were settled, at least until the appeal was filed, it seems that the road to going public for the crypto company has opened. Even figures around $30 billion were mentioned, which incidentally corresponds to the current capitalization of XRP, a cryptocurrency actively used by Ripple in its operations. It says playbook. Schwartz stated that getting into the money through an IPO for developer matters, unless they can sell their shares on the secondary market, participate in buybacks or tender offers, and receive dividends. If the company is doing well enough and management allows it, there are plenty of other ways to turn shares into dollars, Schwartz states. An IPO is a good way if that's a typo on their end. An IPO is a good way out. Oh, my apologies. Maybe I'm just reading it wrong, but the flow looks a little bit wrong there. A good way out if the company cannot do any of those things, or not enough of them, On the other side, however, notes the Ripple CTO, early investors get especially nervous when they get too far away from their desired liquidity states. All right. So now we're going to move on to a little bit of Bitcoin news here. All right. So now this article is titled Bitcoin ETFs Momentum Builds as Inflow Streak Hits 4 days. Let's go, Bitcoin. I'm ready. I'm ready for you to explode and take the rest of the market with you. I am 100%. U.S. spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds are in the green as inflows and outflows begin to stabilize across the market as per data on social value. Bitcoin ETFs have seen a solid $88 inflow, $88 million in net inflows for August 20th, 2024, marking day 4 of their renewed inflow streak. However, it's worth noting that just 2 Bitcoin funds saw positive inflows. Naturally, BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust led the pack, posting $55 million in net inflows since launching. I think we covered this the other day. Let's move on to ARK. Close behind was ARK Shares Bitcoin ETF, which bagged $51 million. Its largest inflow since mid-July. This brings ARKB's cumulative net inflows to $2.5 billion, ranking it as the 3rd best performing BTC ETF. You know, it's this random thought on my mind. All of these videos are supposed to be made as podcasts. I don't know if YouTube is still automatically doing that. And if they do, if these videos are automatically made as podcasts, does anybody really listen to them as podcasts? I don't know. It's supposed to be available on YouTube Music. That's what they say. All right. Anyway, let's keep going. Just a random thought just popped in my mind. Low outflows, typically inflow and outflow data, would be disproportionately affected by the outflows of one or more Bitcoin funds. However, their inflow/outflow rates are trending downward, which may be positive. Looking at the losers for the week, the Bitwise Bitcoin ETF saw $4.47 million in exits. All right, we're going to move on here. Did we do the Ethereum news yet? Bear with me one moment. I had an Ethereum article. Oh, here we go. Okay, so it's the next article there. Yeah, I want to get this in because Ethereum obviously is a very, very important to crypto overall, right? So this article is titled BlackRock's ETHA becomes first Ethereum ETF to cross $1 billion in net inflows. All right. So it says here, BlackRock's iShares Ethereum Trust has surpassed $1 billion in cumulative net flows, making it the first among 11 issuers to reach the milestone. Ethereum ETFs as a whole have seen cumulative net outflows over $440 million, underperforming compared to Bitcoin ETFs, with BlackRock's Bitcoin Fund even ranking among the top 5 ETFs for 2024 inflows. BlackRock's iShares Ethereum Trust, its spot Ether exchange traded fund on Tuesday, became the first. They do that again where they reiterate once again. We're going to skip past that little piece. ETH holds over $860 million in net assets, surpassed only by Grayscale's Mini Ether Trust and Ethereum Trust. ETHA's net inflows are more than the next 3 highest ETF inflows combined. Social value data shows Fidelity's FETH has taken on a total of $367 million since the funds went live July 23rd. Okay, let's move on to another article here. All right. And many more ETFs to come in the future, in my humble opinion. I think Solana and XRP are up to bat soon. And here we have a little Solana news. Oh, right on time. Right on time. This article here is titled Second Solana ETF Approved in Brazil. It says the product will be I don't remember hearing about the first. Well, I can't see everything unless I'm just forgetting. I read so many different things. It is easy to forget. I'll tell you that. You can't remember everything. The product will be launched by Brazil-based asset manager Hashdex in partnership with local investment bank BTG Pactual. The Brazilian Securities Exchange Commission, CVM, has approved a second Solana exchange-traded fund, the agency disclosed in its central database. According to the CVM database, the new Solana ETF which is in the pre-operational phase, will be offered by Brazil-based Hashdex, a Brazil-based asset manager with over $962 million in assets under management in partnership with the local investment bank BTG Pactual. All right, so this is pretty good. This is good development for Solana, in my humble opinion. We shall see what the future holds. I believe the future is extremely bright for Solana. And I do believe that ETFs all over the place will pop off for Solana. Has a lot of institutional support. So, but we will see, right? Not financial advice. All right. So now we're going to end off here with this article titled "Revisions to U.S. Jobs Data Due Wednesday Have the Potential to Weigh on the Stock Market." Of course, we saw what's happened many times. It begins here. At 10 a.m. Eastern Time, the Bureau of Labor Statistics will release its so-called benchmark revisions on U.S. employment data from April 2023 to March 2024. Wall Street predicts a big markdown in employment gains during that span. Estimates range from a reduction of 600,000 jobs to a record 1 million. Analysts warn that the exercise might attract outsized attention, given that investors are now hyper-focused on the labor market data, as evidenced by the sharp sell-off that followed the July jobs report on August the 2nd, or the bounce that followed as subsequent weekly jobless claims releases helped ease concerns about the state of the labor market. The 12-month average for job additions over the revision period was 241,000, a quote, very strong unquote figure that implies a solid labor market, noted Tom Essay, founder of Sevens Report Research. A downward revision of 600,000 would drop the average payrolls gain to 191,000, while a downward revision of 1 million would make what's been strong jobs data, quote, more middling, unquote, he wrote. Quote, this matters because the market is very sensitive to soft labor market data. And we know that from the recent pop in jobless claims and July jobs report. So while investors are okay ignoring most disappointing data, they aren't ignoring soft labor market data. And if these revisions are worse than expected, look for it to weigh on stocks today, unquote, Essay said. All right. So there you go, everyone. We shall see. It's been a heck of a ride this year. I will tell you that. All right. And I'll tell you what, I sold a few stocks. I had to get them out of there. It was time. All right. Those were long holds. Long hold. Had to get them out of there. All right. Certain things happened and I saw certain things and it was like, oh, really? These were collecting dust and they're looking a little bit good right now. Sometimes after a long time, it's looking good. You have to take a little profit, right? Especially before all that other stuff happened. Yeah, I can see what's going to come a mile away before all that selling starts and the prices start to go down. I had to get those out of there. All right. Oh, man, sometimes you have to take preemptive measures. 100%. You don't wait for the market to react and then boom. All right. So, but anyway, yeah. So I'm I'm still active in the stock market. I'm just not as active as I am in crypto or commodities or anything else. Like I'm way more active in everything else than the stock market. But I do have a lot of long holds. I let them collect dust. I feel like I know where they're going. They've done well so far. So, hey, yeah. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.